Hello there everyone, welcome back to another Gate Ruler video. Deck profile time. As you can see, it's going to be a yellow-blue one. Thank you, Sundial, my Simian level supporter. I promise I can speak English. I just slept for like 14 hours straight, so I think I'm a little bit out of it still. But yeah, this is a deck I have been very excited to play, and I'm delighted it's finally decent. So let's go ahead and just get right into it. So as you can see, this is a Knight deck. That is kind of the only real way you can play Dark. You could play Apprentice Darkness, but I really wouldn't recommend it in set 2. There are also a couple of variants of Darkness. So this is going to be the more traditional one, which I'll be showing you first. But I will show you a slightly more spicy one soon. So please do subscribe to the channel for that. Also, playing Knight means I get to flex this absurd collection, complete collection of Exalted Flags by just, mixing, matching and choosing whichever ones I want to use for energy each game. So that's good fun. I sure do love being an arsehole. Right, anyway, let's get started. That's enough messing around. This deck isn't quite full foil yet, which is really sad, but it's most of the way there, so, it'll happen eventually. Starting off with 4 copies, we'll do all the level 3s. So we're starting off with 4 copies of Voltona. I'm not sure where the best place to put this is because the lighting in my room isn't fantastic, but there we go. This card is nuts. This is one of the best, the biggest reasons the Darkness is playable at all in set 2. Being able to dump your Viola specifically means you're basically not going to draw your Viola, which is obviously very important because you don't want to draw it. So you got to put it straight in. But on top of that, it also lets you foolish away a Docklefar or a Nibelung, or if you've somehow managed to send those all back and not put any, you can send the other 0, which we'll talk about in a bit. So yeah, this card's touchdown is amazing. It has pretty respectable stats. Mainly the 5 attack is going to be able to hit over a lot of 5 defense stuff there is in this format. There is a lot of level 0s with 5 defense. And 2 strike is respectable. On top of all that, it's an Abyss Summoner. So you can, very feasibly drop this down. It's going to targeted mill the Viola and a Nibelung, and then you can just Abyss Summon with it, and you've already got a 2 count, so you've got 3 Darknesses, plus the Nibelung can be either a 0, 1, or 2. So you literally only need a 0 and a 1 in your drop for you to be able to just drop this down and then make a Viola, which is ridiculous. Yeah, this card is very, very, very important. Next is 4 copies of Rex. I wasn't a massive fan of this card in set 1. I felt it was kind of a bait, and the reason I felt that was because it takes 5 of your Darknesses, and back then you weren't able to... there weren't as many good Darkness cards. There were, in fact, kind of all the Darkness cards were kind of bad back then. So you had that issue, and you also had the problem where you weren't able to get that many of them into the discard. So... thankfully, with set 2, you now have more good Darkness cards and more ways of getting them into the drop zone, the graveyard, whatever you want to call it, which means that this card is suddenly a lot better. On top of that, now it's one of your premier forms of defense. The one problem with the Darkness deck, and I will sort of discuss this more, but basically your defense is kind of arse. It's really not very good. And yeah, you in terms of you're basically entirely counter reliant on your defense. Which makes your deck feel really luck-sacky when it isn't, because you are playing a lot of defensive counters. It's not like you're not, but you will have to deal with that sort of opinion from people you play against. Triple Hades. I'm continually tempted to bump this card up to 4, but at the moment I'm just playing 3. Why is it so good? 1, it's a 3-strike target, so that's really nice. 2, when you Abyss Summon it, it's going to make you a board. It's going to get you back another level 0 from your drop, and you've got some really strong targets for that. And 3, it's a defensive beast, because if you hit it on the counter check, then you can just suddenly throw a 4 HP thing in defensive zone, and that is going to be really annoying for your opponent to deal with. So, very important card. If you're not playing it, there's something wrong with your list. Double Viola, don't need more than 2 in my opinion. I'm still deciding whether it's more high rarity to go with this or the promo version. I'm probably going to switch to the promo version, or maybe I'll do one of each because I really like the arts. But anyway, this card is insane. A field wipe in Gate Ruler at this current time is extremely rare, and the fact that you're able to just do this kind of with the greatest of ease is kind of mental. You can also do it on your opponent's turn with a card we'll talk about in a little bit. with one of the best cards in the new set. Yeah, this card is insane. It's also 3 strikes, so when you do board wipe, you're going to be smacking in for ridiculous damage. And it's 7 attack, which means it's going to be hitting over all the big things in the format, including, when we get it in Europe and America, who already has it, Scoob or FSM. So yeah, very important card. Though, of course, you know, you will be you will be board wiping, so you'll swing into it and it'll be 3 strike, so your opponent's just going to take that 3 strike and then maybe they'll Scoob on the ruler attack with there. Anyway, 1 copy of Terminus. This card is fine. It's going to get better. I know it's going to get better because the biggest problem with it at the moment is you just don't have enough discard targets to make this thing really good. Like, it's a thing that says discard pop. Like, there's no way that shouldn't be good. The counter is fine. You usually have darknesses to discard to make it worth it. But the biggest issue is, like, a lot of your stuff isn't a dragon, like, or a traitor. Like, for example, your Violas, those are dragon lords. They're not dragons, right? So the problem you have is a lot of the things you'd want to discard, you actually can't. That being said, I know this card's going to get way better in set 3. Like, I can just feel it. So yeah. I'm playing it at 1 at the moment. It's perfectly fine at 1. I'm happy to make it when I do, but it's not something I think you need more than that of. First of my legends is just going to be a Blaster Vortex. Card's fine. You know, Mirror Force is pretty Mirror Force, and I basically didn't want to use up any counter slots on legends, so my options kind of built themselves. Next, we are going to have 4 copies of the actual best card in the set. For Darkness, by far, in my opinion, 4 copies of this guy. My Soul Forsaken, Dark Powers Awaken. Firstly, best name in the set, no cap. Secondly, this card is ridiculous. Like, this card is absolutely ridiculous. So it's an Abyss Summoner that you play it as an event. So, this is an Abyss Summoner you play as an event, right? Which means that there is no way to disrupt it at the moment. You just go, okay, play. It's obviously, you know, it's not instant timing, which would be ridiculous. I know it was originally, this was translated as instant timing, and I was like, I don't know who the fuck did that, but that, no, sorry, it was translated as standard, but like the proxies that were made said instant, so everyone was testing going, well, Darkness is ridiculous tier 0. Obviously it's not, it's a standard action, which is fine. Basically you just go, okay, I'll play this. And it's really, really strong because you just get to make an Abyss Summoner. You just get to make something. And that's like sort of the most important thing, being able to do it undisrupted. It helps that there's a lot less removal in the set 2 format, like Crime Nauts in terms of the Malevolous build is a lot less popular. Not less strong, just less popular in Japan, so that helps. But yeah, the main reason is, I don't know if you can see that there, a little counter. What does that counter say? The counter says play this. So if you hit this off the top of a counter, suddenly what are you making? Well, either I can make a Viola, or I can make a Hades, or I can make a Rex. All absolutely ridiculous options to make on your opponent's turn. Yeah, this card is very, 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 very good. And by far the biggest reason I think the deck is this plus Voltona are the 2 cards that make this deck like playable. 1 copy of God, what is this called even? In One Breath, A Life to Death. This is a really nice card. It gets better actually with Overlord because at the moment it's just a little bit expensive, but it's very powerful. You get it's removal plus heal, and sometimes you just want to heal stuff out as well. So it's just a good card that is ridiculous with Overlord because you can play it for 1, but when you're playing it for 2, it's more limited in the circumstances. It's also a level 2 Darkness. I think it's your only level 2 Darkness. I believe it's, yeah, it is. I don't know why I say I believe. I know this is the only level 2 Darkness that you actually play. So you know, generally you're using your Nibblings or your other ones to facilitate level 2, but when you actually get one of these, that's nice as well. So you can it can make the life a bit easier. Onto level 1s. For Alice, this is kind of one of our 2 actual defensive things. Alice's card is good. Then we have got 4 copies of Skyline Mage. This is the only actual unit Abyss Summoner I play because I think it's the only one worth playing. It is 4 defense, and you don't really care about the stats because either I'm going to chuck it in defensive because I'm that screwed, in which case 4 defense is really good, or I'm just going to immediately sack it off to someone anyway, so I don't care about it having 0 strike. So, yep, this is exactly what the deck needed. Very, very good, and I don't see it leaving the deck anytime soon. Triple 11. This card is absolutely mental. So what does this do? Well, it's a 4/4/1, so already the stats are reasonable. It's a level 1. Owl, military darkness, so important. So notice there it is an owl and a darkness. So darkness, obviously good there, but if you look there, if it's special summoned from the graveyard, it gains defender. So if you make a Hades, suddenly you've got a defender. And when it's in the graveyard, you can treat it as being a level 0. So this is suddenly an incredibly versatile target that can fill out your level requirements, and you can bring it back with, you can revive it with a Hades. So yeah, the card is absolutely mental, very, very good. 2 copies of The Gaze Unholy Shall Slay the Unworthy. This is I'm loving these card names, by the way. This is I mean, they're so edgy, but like I do enjoy them. This is very, very good. You just get to basically nuke anything down, right? Like you're going to hit 4 or 5 on this really easily. Sometimes you may even hit bigger numbers than that. Basically, it's just a card that's big enough that you're either going to get just a Flesh Wounded, or it's just going to remove anything. And Atlas falls off quite hard in this set. It's really not very popular, so the odds of you actually getting just a Flesh Wounded are pretty low. Next, I'm playing 2 copies of Full Charge Ahead. This is just a nice little versatile card here, where basically you can either pop a set or give your ruler +3 attack, which will make you 6 attack, which is so close to being really, really, really good and being able to deal with FSMs and Scoobs and such. But 6 attack is nothing to sniff at. It's you know, it's going to be removing a lot of very annoying things, and that plus a level 0 is going to remove anything. For Nibelung, I don't need to explain why that card is amazing. For Geist, I also don't need to explain why this card is amazing. This has been a staple since set 1. The other defensive card, double Flying Shield. You could play more of this. It's quite good when you see it, but you're not always going to see it. I only can really justify 2 copies anyway. So yeah, you know, card is perfectly fine. Next, it is double Gastel. So this is the other level 0 I was talking about. Let's try and get that to focus. Whoa. So when you're doing an Abyssal Concerto, this can be any level from 0 to 2. So this is just another one of those things that's going to improve your consistency. 3 attack is okay. Mainly is the traiting. It is a warrior, betrayer, and darkness. So you know, betrayer and darkness obviously relevant. You can pitch this with finale and of course, you know, darkness, right? Like yeah, card is very, 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 very nice. Almost at the end here. Double Make a Killing. I wasn't playing any of this before. But now that you have more than enough darkness targets to actually make this viable, and when you resolve it, it feels pretty good. And yeah, only 2 copies because I don't want to see it like all the time. It's definitely really cloggy if you play more than that. And that's falling off the stack of cards. Final card here, Win-Win, the last legend and really the only other option. You could play Liberty. I was tempted to play Liberty, but I think Win-Win is just a bit better in this deck. You could play Liberty. I don't think it really matters too much. It's just like you don't really want to be banishing your counters because they're mostly darknesses. Like half of them are darknesses and half of them aren't. So like you'd only be able to make a Liberty twice a game realistically, and even then it probably wouldn't happen super often because like you'd be having issues with which counters you've got. It would probably work. I just think like honestly I don't think any of the legends in this deck are particularly good, and that's what I'm most hoping for in set 3 is really good darkness legends, because that's what I think out of every deck in the game, this by far has the worst legends. But yeah, there we go. That's it. Hope you guys enjoyed this video today. If you did, like the video, subscribe to the channel for more Gate Ruler content, and I will see you guys in the next one. Oh, also let me know what deck profiles you want to see. Alright, bye. Cheers.